Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to quickly talk about getting started creating content. A number of people have asked me for help, for thoughts, and unfortunately I don't have enough time for one-to-one to give that kind of guidance. So I thought I'd try and put together a video about some of the things that I consider, but I want to be very upfront. I don't consider myself an influencer or an expert in creating branding. I've really accidentally stumbled across where I am right now. But there are certainly things I keep in mind when I try and think about the content and how I want to frame what I do. So if you're getting started, I think the most important thing is, what is your goal? So know your goal. If I want to create content, why do you want to create content? If your goal is simply, hey, I want to get as many likes on YouTube or as many eyes on it, then maybe you create Minecraft videos, maybe you create, hey, how much can I eat videos? That's probably the ticket to that, falling over, pictures of dogs, whatever. If your goal is, hey, I want to create some content around a particular area and really just focus on that, then that's great as well. Realize you'll have less overall views, but the views you do get will be from that community, and you'll probably build up a reputation within that community. And that may mean a lot more to you than just some overall set of views. In terms of subscribers, again, you'll get subscribers, they may be lesser in number, but they'll be focused on around that certain community. And so I would concentrate more on quality that focuses on that community. And if I'm thinking about, so what is my goal? Hey, I want to focus around a certain area, a certain community, whether it's work related, maybe it's hobby related. So then you're probably going to want to focus on, well, what is the topic area that's going to be the focus of that content I want to create? And what's really important about this, especially if it's something you want to do for you, is it should be something that you enjoy. It should be something you are passionate about. And that will shine through when you create the content. If you go and start creating content about something you really don't care about, you're just having to do it, it's going to be pretty evident in what you create. So in an ideal world, I want to focus on something I really enjoy, something that I maybe live day in, day out, and that's going to give you the best possible content that I can have. When you think about creating the content, remember to think about, well, what is the actual audience? So you're going to have the audience. And when you create the content, and I've got other videos that talk about how to actually present and how to give a good presentation, so I recommend you view those. But top of mind in everything you do, what you need to think about is, well, really, the audience don't care about what you know or how smart they are. They care about what you're creating, their ability to absorb the information. So whether that's a video or written word, whether it's a podcast, it doesn't matter. Focus on creating the content in a way that can be digested and enjoyed by the audience. Now, with that in mind, what is the medium you want to use? And this is going to vary. Your individual attributes may lend you better to one than another. Maybe it's written word. So maybe you're going to focus more on blogging. Maybe you're going to create more on creating some kind of lab manual so people can follow along and do their own thing. Maybe it is audio only, it's some kind of podcast. Maybe it is video, but maybe it's voice over with sort of PowerPoint or some demonstration. Maybe you're actually just on camera, like me, and I do a hybrid of these. And it may evolve over time. You may start off doing blogging, then you might move on to podcasting, then you may move on to PowerPoint and demos, and then you may put yourself in front of a camera. What are you comfortable with? Again, what do you enjoy doing? And it probably will evolve. You'll get comfortable with different things, you'll try different things. But again, there's not a right or wrong. There's not one is not better than the other. What is better for you and what's going to help you feel confident, what's going to help you enjoy it, and what's going to help you create the content so the audience can absorb it. That's really the important thing. So next, if you're going for creating content, you might want to build a brand for yourself. You want to have that idea of a certain style. So there should be a consistent style, a consistent theme for all of your content. the way you write, the way you present, the camera setup, the thumbnails you create for your videos, the fonts you use. Try and be very consistent to get a certain look and feel. I try and on my thumbnails always have a title over here in a certain font, me here. You just know it's one of my videos. You know what I'm creating. Occasionally I'll stray because the other thing is, don't try and trick people. I want the thumbnail to actually portray a hint of what is the video. If I'm not doing me in front of the camera, but it's maybe me doing more of a demo, a screen capture, I don't want to put me in front of the whiteboard for the thumbnail. I want to be authentic. I want to actually portray what I'm going to do. I don't want to do clickbaiting. So I might then change it if it's not me. So I want it to represent what is actually in the video. That's an important thing. But work out a style, a theme that's going to be consistent through your content. So it starts to build up a brand. So your brand will be a certain style. Your brand will be this topic. And you want to really focus on driving that. Now, when you do create your content, if it is a hobby, just be careful that you don't use, for example, work resources. They may have certain moonlighting policies. Don't get yourself in trouble. So make sure you're creating things within the confines of any agreements you have. Just be aware of that. Always check things. Have a schedule. So what I want to do is when I'm creating content, whatever that might be, I want a schedule and I want to be consistent with that. I like to think about if you're going to start creating content at minimum, think something weekly. It doesn't have to be some huge content, but you want to keep, there's an element of top of mind, be consistent, create good quality content on a fairly periodic interval. I think once a week is great. Now, when I think about starting to create content, and once you start to gain a bit of recognition, you start to gain an audience, one of the things that's really, really important to do is if I think, hey, I'm going to create this content, zoom out a little bit up here. So I'm going to create content. So just say here's me, and I'm going to start creating content. What's really important is to think about boundaries. I need to define that for myself because here's what's going to happen over time. And there's no bad intent for most of the people, but there's going to be lots of people who will start watching your content, consuming your content, reading your content, whatever that is. And they will perceive very much a one-to-one relationship. And they'll start asking questions, and that might be great up front, and that might be great full stop. Depends on your time you want to dedicate, and that's part of the boundary as well. How much time do I want to spend on this? But obviously there's N number, and there's one of you. And so there will come a point where it's just unmanageable. So set some very clear boundaries for your time so you don't get overwhelmed. So it doesn't start to become this huge pressure because those things will start to eat away at the pleasure and the joy of creating the content. And ultimately it becomes a broken thing. This is my hobby, my content. So my boundary now, I've got more popular. I don't really look at LinkedIn or Twitter responses. I post, hey, announce I've created some content so people know about it, but that's it. On YouTube, I had to turn on moderation because there was so much spam, people faking themselves as me trying to trick people into Bitcoin purchasing. Everything is now moderated. I have to go and approve things and I don't have that much time. So lots of questions, I just can't get round to that. Really only approve little, hey, hellos, passed, thank you. Those things go through. But pick some clear boundaries and that's okay. Have those boundaries for yourself so you keep enjoying the content so it doesn't start to become a burden. And now with this, so you've got those clear boundaries, remember, be human. And this might sound very strange. You don't have to be this perfect, never make a mistake thing. You're a human being. You have expressions, you can slow down, speed up. You make little mistakes. Oh, made a mistake. Actually, what I meant was, that's okay. Don't be some monotone robot. Just keep talking in. No one wants to enjoy that. No one can watch that. Be you. Let your personality come through. Your brand, hey, it's going to be a mixture of all the things. Your brand's going to be your topic. It's going to be your style, but it's also you. What that makes that up. So let that shine through in your content. Now, when I think about the audience, make sure you do respect the time of your audience. So if this is my audience, they're making an investment of their time to look at your content. So if you do make some huge mistake, go and edit it out. Don't let them waste a whole bunch of time watching something. It's like, oh wait, that was all wrong. Or don't stray too far off of what your theme is, maybe waste their time. Don't trick them. If I'm respecting, I'm not doing clickbait. I think that's terrible. Hey, I've got some. Don't do that. There's a lack of respect. There's a lack of integrity. Your content is your content. You should explain and let them know what that is up front. They know what to expect. They watch it if they want to watch it. I hate those things where it's like, oh, most important tip, you need to do this now. Just be upfront. And again, if you think about it, you want to build a brand, there's no brand you're building with clickbait. Sure, you may get them to watch one video, but then they've gone. They're not going to like it. You'll actually have a negative impression. So I'd much rather be respectful of their time, respectful of their attention. So don't do clickbait, don't trick people, be authentic. This is what it is. But also when you think about this audience, realize no matter how good you are or what you do, there's the naysayer. Ignore them. Ignore the people that say, this isn't good enough. You're rubbish. Do this to make it perfect. Now, if everyone is saying the same thing, maybe there's something there. And so maybe just look at that. But don't try and please everyone. Don't let this weigh on your mind. Ignore the naysayers. Again, enjoy what you're doing. Let that be the thing that shines through. When I do think about the audience, one of the things to really get right is make sure you've got good audio. And this seems silly, but you want as good as you can get it, a good microphone. Try and cut out background noise, reverb, echoing. There's limits to what you can do. We're all within whatever our capabilities are, our environment is. But try and get the audio as good as possible, because many other things can be forgiven. But if you can't really hear properly, if there's a lot of distractions, that can really take away from the quality of the content. So try and get the audio as good as you can. When I think about my content, and I talked about enjoying the content, I also want to make sure I'm being as accurate as I can. Take pride in what you do. I want to produce good content I'm proud of. People will likely take what you say at face value and trust it. I want to have earned and maintained that trusted position. So don't take shortcuts. Put out the quality, make sure it's authentic. And when you think about the content you want to create, the topics, again, it comes down to what is your goal. If your goal is you want as many eyes on your content as possible, then you're going to have to listen to what people care about. It's no good you thinking what people should care about. You should want to know this. If they don't, they don't. So if your goal is, I want as many views as possible and I want everyone to consume my content, you're going to have to listen to what people care about. You can't tell them what they should care about. Now, I do not do that. This is my hobby. I create content that I want to learn, that I want to create content about. Some of the content I'm most proud of got the least amount of views, but I'm still most proud of that. I enjoyed learning it. I enjoyed preparing it. I enjoyed recording it. So that comes down to your goal. If your goal is, hey, I just want to enjoy what I create, and the people that enjoy consuming it, that's fantastic. Then create what you want to create. But if your goal is, hey, I want as many people as possible, then you can't tell people what they should care about. You're going to have to listen to what they care about. That's a choice that you make. You can ask people to subscribe, but don't pester. I used to start my videos, hey, I appreciate a like and a subscribe. I don't tend to do that so much anymore, but do it once. Maybe if it's a really long video, do it at the start, do it at the end, but don't keep peppering it all throughout. I think, again, it just becomes annoying. I don't think people appreciate that. It becomes fatigue. Anything you do too much, people just start to drown out. They won't even observe it or see it anymore. So the same thing goes to, hey, I create content, you can absolutely announce. So you can let people know on things like LinkedIn, if it's professional type content. You could use things like Twitter to announce, hey, I've got new content, but don't flood it 20 times a day. Again, you'll become noise. They won't pay any attention to it. So have some purpose, have some value to the communications. Don't overuse them. When you are creating your content, I talked about making sure you focus on them absorbing it. Well, make sure you think about, hey, I'm presenting to them. So as I create my content, I'm being human and I'm imagining in my brain, I am actually talking to a group of people. So there's an audience there. I'm just having a conversation with you. I'm not particularly thinking about, oh, I'm recording something. Oh, no, I'm having a conversation. That's why if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. If this was live and we were talking, I'd be like, oops, and I'd correct it. I think about exactly the same thing when I'm creating the content. Be human. Imagine I'm actually having that conversation. So I'm almost interacting. I'll try and second guess. Hey, I said this thing. Maybe there's a question about it. Hey, maybe you're wondering, and I'll address and I'll answer that question. And you'll notice I am very expressive. It's not just a whiteboard. It's not just voice. We can act things out. We can use hands. We can express things. We can pause, interact with the audience. So imagine I've got this interaction. It really is a key thing to make the content more absorbable. And do remember, ultimately the audience, they do care really about themselves. I don't mean that in a negative way. They care about how you can help them. There's a little leeway you'll get over time that you might be able to talk about something outside of the topic area. Like, oh, I used to talk about my little Iron Man things for 30 seconds. They might start to get interested in what you do outside it. But ultimately, they care about how you're helping them. Don't start to lie to yourself or fool yourself that they suddenly have this huge, deep insight and care about you as a human being. They probably don't. So you can't suddenly go off and do these wild tangent things. They're not going to care. Always come back to the idea of this audience. What do they care about? That's the point of your content, your topic. Don't lose sight of that. You're trying to help them. That's the whole goal of the content we're creating. Remember, hopefully, you wanted to do this. You wanted to create this content. So if things start to become negative, remove toxic. If there are elements to what you're doing that you just don't enjoy anymore at all, that's just horrible, it makes you miserable, cut it out. Unless there's some reason you have to keep that element in there, remove it. For me, I found some of those, sort of the LinkedIn, people constantly asking for things or do this. I found it negative. It made me not enjoy creating the content, so I just don't read it anymore. I don't have to read it. This is my hobby, so I've cut it out. So remove toxic things if you can. And that really comes back then to the point for all of this. What I really want you to do, it's going to take me a second, but this is probably the most important point. Have fun. When you're creating your content, it's okay to have a little bit of fun as part of that. You need to enjoy it. If you ever start to get stuck and you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. Why did you first start doing this? What was your goal? It's okay to have a little bit of fun. I'll do little silly things in my videos sometimes. It's my hobby. I want to enjoy it. It's how you can keep creating content. If it becomes stale, if you stop enjoying it, it will show in the content. You're doing less and less and it will just die away. So keep coming back to those things. And that's it. I mean, that's how I think about it. This is nothing mind-shattering, but these are my thoughts. People ask me, so this is my thoughts about the things that I would really focus on. So I think if I was to break it down to the key things, what is your goal? What is the right topic? What is the right medium for you? Have that certain style. Have a certain theme. In fact, I'm going to change this to stars rather than doing numbers on it. So know your goal, have a certain topic, have a certain style. Be consistent in creating content. I think that's really, really important. Ignore those naysayers. No matter how good you are, no matter what you're doing, you're going to have naysayers. Ignore them. Who cares what they think? And have fun. I mean, that really is the key point to what we're trying to do. Enjoy your content, it will shine through. So that was it. That's how I can think about if you want to start creating content. I hope this helps. Until my next video, take care.